Zero ends. Welcome. Welcome. And welcome to this new edition here on the Zero Ends channel. To start off, this new season, or not new season, but continuing of what was already done on the Zero Ends channel. It's been a while, but we're back up and running again, like always. As you know, you see the title, the thumbnail. But before I begin this uncomfortable conversation, make sure you hit this subscribe button on the Zero Ends channel. And always hit the top notification bell for the uploads and live streams on Zero Ends channel. What else you could follow Zero Ends? Any other social medias this channel got? No, I think right now it's only YouTube for now. There might be some other links to Zero Ends. It's coming. It's coming. Be on the lookout for that. What else that I did not talk about? Oh, I'm going to put out something, and this will be maybe possibly in the replay, and not. I'll put it in the community tab. A particular question. And this will probably put on the community tab as well. I'll put it in the chat room. But before we begin, let me make sure everything's put out here. Make sure everything is set up good. Okay. Just checking all my slides. Well, not slides, but I'm checking everything. I have everything set up because I like to have things organized before I begin. But as we wait, for those that are not familiar, you know how Zero Ends is. We deal with the political side of things and also look and examine books as well. And there might be some other things that will probably be added to the channel down the line. But nonetheless, this is where, we deal with the more politics side of things, mostly. And like always, these are going to be very much real conversations and potentially uncomfortable conversations. Nonetheless, we have to have the conversations because it is very important. Very important. I think one of the few things that we're not really come to grips is that we live in a real artificial world that will harm or hurt people of, or the minority people of this country. Oh, wait, what's this? Moderate help everyone feel safe. This is new. So a delay between message hide or put people in time, manage messages held by review. Add moderators to your channel. Oh, wow. It looks like YouTube has said I must choose a moderator. Okay. That's new. That is definitely new. Well, right now I can't choose a moderator right now because we're still fairly new channel in the early stages right now. Let me see if I could put out let me see. I'll put the question out there now for those that will be catching this. And as y'all know, this has been circling so far throughout social media, and the conversation should be had regardless. So do this. Oh, okay. Wait 1 second, guys. I'm good. I just had a message. All right. Before I begin, one thing I do want to lay out, and is I've come to the decision, and I've been thinking long and hard about this. And this is something that I was, after maybe when I read it for the first time, I could probably go in and personally maybe do a series on it. But because of certain events that has happened now, and there are a lot of events that's been going around that's affecting mostly Black people, men and women, that I think it is now time to really do a whole series on this, whole book series. And I mean a whole book series. This is something has to read verbatim, page by page, and give real crucial analysis because I think the time is now. And regardless who will read it, who will go back and listen to this, or where the case may be, I think it is now time. I don't. At times, I always refrain from pulling out any information that people don't know exists, and I might dedicate a full series on this channel, Zero Ends. But I think now, because of the current events and the mindset of a lot of folks, even including things like the doll test. And if y'all not familiar with the doll test is a depiction of showing the mindset of where Black people are at. So I think it's now time to really go through the pages and books from experts and professions that do love and care about Black people and look at it for more psychological analysis through our eyes, our lens, and our ears and minds only in regards to the effects of us as a whole. And that book series is titled The Psycho the psychology of the self-hatred and self-defeat towards a reclamation of the African mind. There will be a series on this very soon. Make sure you subscribe and your notification high because I'm going to go in that book. And I'm going to start from beginning to end. And we're going to go down this analysis of why the hell Black people have such disdainful, not only hate, but is it really self-hatred that Black people operate and think that leads to their demise, to the point where if it's self-hatred, then by default, you are already lost and you have accepted your fate and your defeat. So that will be down the line. All right. Let me see what's going on here. All right. I'm just going through scroll, going down. Let's see, somebody wrote that down. Right. Yeah. All right. I'm just going through some things now, guys. So I'm gonna post some things right now. And I'm checking if anything else I miss. It looks like I got everything. All right. Let's play audio. Oh, before I play the audio, to let y'all know, since I got, and I'll know some people that will be coming in to the replay of this, the title for today's stream is titled Cops Go Wild on You. Now that sounds a little weird and it could possibly be triggering, but nonetheless, this is the subject matter and this is something that has to be examined and really have the conversation. Is really Black law enforcement really a necessity in regards to guarding and watching and protecting Black neighborhoods for all parts of the city, all 50 or wherever states Black people reside in America? That is the discussion. And before we do that, let me put this question in the chat room for those that will catch back this, and I'll put it in the community tab as well. And it's a very important question. And it's a very good question. And I hope that I have an answer to this. And I want people to put some thought into this. And as I put it in the chat room, I'll put this in the community tab as well. I want y'all to put some thought and think good on this. Those. And everybody should have a really use their common sense and critical thinking to really think hard before answering this question. All right. So there it is. I'm going to post it right here now. And I'm going to copy and paste this somewhere. All right. There you go. And make sure y'all guys like the stream. And as y'all watch this and, see if you can answer the question, I want y'all to put some real deep thought into this. Now, I can't give you the answer because I posed the question. So you must come to your own grips and conclusions to the answer to this question. So now, let's deal with this brother by the name hold on. Let me see if I still have it on here. Tyler Hold on, guys. Let me find his name. Tyron Nixon. I'm sorry. Tyrone Nicholson. And one thing I will say about this, I will not be playing this video. And the reason why I will not play this video is because it's very offensive, besides triggering to any man that watches. But what I've concluded when it comes to black folks, particularly, that we have a certain infatuation and have a certain lustful desire to be watching us in certain pain and violence, not only towards each other, but pain and violence when people inflict it on us. It's like another form of sexual fetish or a form of porn. And to me, that's a no-no. It's a no-no. And from looking at the dates of this, it seemed to me that this happened January 7th, 2023. We're now in January the 29th, 2023. So we're almost roughly less than 1.5 weeks away, a month ago when this happened. And looks like the man or the brother named Tyrone Nichols is 29 years of age. So if my math roughly says this young man was born in 1993. And I'm going down the list now. They say he was 30 years old. He's not 30 years old. He is 29 years of age. He was born June 5th, 1993. Tyrone DeAndre Nichols. And he was with 4-year-old son, and he has a 4-year-old son. Nicholas was working for FedEx and was photographer with his own website, a photographer with his own website. Nicholas was raised in Sacramento, California, and moved to Memphis, Tennessee in 2022. So he's only been living in Memphis for over 3 years. I don't know if anybody's doing real background checks of these people. I'm gonna say this, not to, pop my collar, but where are you getting the real background of a lot of these things you see on TV? Or do most people care? To me, as a person, from me looking at the information a little bit more deeper, without much digging, research, I could pull up a little bit of more of a thorough background just by a simple search and maybe some articles, like even invest more time to find a little bit more about the young brother that lost his life to these officers. And here's an interesting take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They say it was 5 police officers that took Tyrone Nicholas' life. But did you know there's a 6th officer as well? But before I continue reading this, let's have a listen to a tape, shall we? Listen carefully. Listen good.
The math ain't mathing. And the white police officer was the one who initially, because he was the one that jumped out of his car and told him to get out of the car. He was the one that tased him. But yet, he magically evades being charged. Because the math ain't mathing. And the white police officer was the one who initially, because he was the one that jumped out of his car and told him to get out of the car. He was the one that tased him. But yet, he magically evades being charged. Because the math ain't mathing. And the white police officer was the one who initially, because he was the one that jumped out of his car and told him to get out of the car. He was the one that tased him. But yet, he magically evades being charged.
Now, I could keep playing this particular live stream here that y'all are seeing. And y'all might recognize the voice. If not, you could search this wonderful woman on YouTube. I just came across this today. And another side note for anybody that's going to be doing any content for the sake of conversation, I think we should sit back and get enough information first before you jump into the pool. Because you never know if there's sharks or any vermins that could, potentially bite you. I mean, bite you very loosely as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to look now. I'm just doing something right now, guys. Because I'm trying to find another all right. And I'm probably gonna stop this because this thing's getting annoying now. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Come on, guys. All right, that'll stop. And I'm just looking at some things right now. Yeah, he's doing all right, guys. We're going to tread on. The math is really not mathing. Now, what I've known or heard that it was only 5 black police officers that the ones that were involved in the loss of life of the one Tyreen Nichols. But to come to find out now that it was not just them 5 alone that was in the scene of this young man's death. There are more involved people that were the corporates of this young man's demise. I find that very odd. Very odd indeed. It becomes problematic. So, really truly, and mind you, the woman that is running the police force is a woman. A black woman. Now, one thing I don't like, and I'm going to have to do a pushback, is I've noticed there's a notion that it was the so-called single mothers that raise and, produce these so-called adequate males that do majority crime and deaths and destruction within the black community. But for the sake of the conversation, and I know I heard from stupid, what do you call Mr. Whitlock, that bastard. Listen, you got to understand, coons come in all forms, shape, and color. But you must understand and you got to understand well that a lot of black people are doing and conduct themselves in front of media outlets to get some form of trinkets so they get validation for others to accept them, meaning they will do anything possible to look good in front of other racial groups, especially when it comes to police force. To find out that this non-black man was one that really initiated the problem, and he's not getting charged, much less put out in the forefront beside these 5 cops. These 5 cops tells you that they are protecting the real people that's supposed to be exuding law and order in this country than everybody else that works in the badge. And that's not only problematic, but that's very sad. And I mean sad, really sad. All right, so I'm going to pull up some articles now. We're going to read more into this. And I doubt we're going to find it. we're gonna find really let's see. I'm just doing something right now. Hold on, guys. All right. Okay, that's it. And matter of fact, let me go on. Oh wow. All right, so let's pull up the articles, guys, and let's begin this. Let me see. Anything else I have on here? Never remove these things. Let's look now into any, and we're going to take a look at any other latest stories unrival this, because I think they're not really talking about this. All right. But before then, let me finish reading this. And this is Wikipedia side of things. According to his family attorney, Benjamin Crump, another person that takes advantage and is looking to, parasite over the community. Because the only time you see him come around is when you see big case, he comes around because he's going to get some $1 million, unfortunately. Nicholas was underweight due to Crohn's disease, weighed about 145 pounds, 66 kilograms, at a height of 6'3". Oh damn! Well, he's pretty tall for a man that has Crohn's disease, and the family has also retained attorney Antonio Ramat Cucci. I think that's how you pronounce it. Romina. The 5 black police officers involved each had 3 to 6 years of experience. Now, you got to understand, anytime you're in any profession or any field, on the average, if you're doing more than 5 years, you know what you're doing. Because that's almost an equivalent of if you're going to university and you went from freshman to sophomore. Freshman to senior. And sometimes you might do an extra year depending. So it's almost like equivalent to a high school or college type, not training or institution, but that's like high school and college years, roughly. Okay, where was I? Some were members of the 30-person specialized in hotspot policing units known as Scorpion Street Crime Operations to restore peace in our neighborhoods. A group of undercover officers assembled in October of 2021, now going on almost 2 years. As a response team to deal with serious crime, Scorpion officers drove unmarked cars and dressed in plain clothing, wearing bulletproof vests marked as police in bold words, as you could tell. These are the police officers that's going to do time in jail and maybe worse. Tadarius Bean, age 24, was hired in August 2022. See that? This man don't have no experience. Next, Demetrius Haley, age 30, a former correctional officer, was hired August 2020. Same thing. Emmett Martin III, age 30, was hired March 2018. He's the one that has put in almost 5 years. Desmond Mill Jr., age 32, a former jailer in Mississippi and Tennessee, was hired in March 2017. So he has almost roughly over 5 years. Justin Smith, age 28, was hired March 2018. Almost approaching 5 years, 4 to 5 years. So out of the ratio of 5, excepting the white police officer that was right there scene of the incident, and not only that, but he's the one that really kicked it off. That they're not talking, but they're protecting, and this is the danger. All 5 of them are the ones that are getting the book slam on them. Now we all know America is a racist country, and yeah, these guys should be prosecuted for this thing because they were responsible of doing what they did to this man, not only on live cam, but it's posted and gone viral everywhere. Roughly, and I mean roughly 3 weeks ago. Because we look at the month of, and let me see, and I'm looking for my calendar to really see how long this really was. This happened Saturday, January 7th. And we're looking at the dates. We're looking at roughly 3 weeks. This was 3 weeks ago. And I believe he died on the 10th, which is Tuesday. So next couple of days will be marked 3 weeks since he died. They must have the funeral like a week later. And roughly now they put this out here for the public. Ain't that something? And I'm going through some things. Let's keep going down. The traffic stops and death. Nicholas was 2 minutes away from his home when he was stopped at approximately 8:24 p.m. on January 7, 2023, near the intersection of East Rains. And let me make sure I'm seeing this on both ends because I have a delay. Okay, there we go. East Rains Road and Rose Road. The Memphis Police Department initially stated on January 8th that the traffic stop of Nicholas was due to reckless driving. Okay. On January 27th, Memphis Police Chief Cheryl C.J. Davis states that her department reviewed footage, including from body cameras, to determine what the probable cause was, and we have not been able to substantiate that. It doesn't mean that something didn't happen, but there's no proof. Oh, really? You sure about that? Well, let me see who she is. Let's click onto her. I'm not sure y'all gonna see that. Okay, this is her. This woman is roughly now, my math is right, about to be 64 this year. This is the lady. And she was originally from Atlanta Police Department in 1986, obviously. So she'd been in this roughly at her late 20s. Makes identified Davis as one of the 8 women former of Old White House Leadership Project Women's Rule. Davis became Deputy Chief of Atlanta Police Department in 2016, became Chief of Durham Police Department in North Carolina. Davis has served as president of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. In 2020, Davis appeared on Good Morning America, where she called the sweeping change of police reform following the deletion of George Floyd. We could say murder. She was sworn in Memphis Police Chief in 2021. So she's only been chief for roughly almost a year and a half now. Davis is a Memphis Police Department first Black female chief. She is also the first female police chief of Memphis. In January 2023, Davis described the killing of Tyrese Nichols as the defining moment in the Memphis Police Department history. She terminated the employ of 5 police officers associated with Nicholas' death. And we don't really care about her personal life. We know she's married. All right, so let's go back. That's a police chief. That's her. Let's keep going. And I'm not sure why a lot of these dudes talking about this single mother nonsense. She's not a single mother. Let's say she was married. But even though she was not, it still upholds that she has a duty to really uphold the integrity of the law enforcement, which she personally has really failed, because now to find that there's more information now that it seems to me that she's protecting the white police officer, that the one that really started the incident in the first place. Now, let's be honest. We all know the relationship between Black women and white man or non-black man. It's such frou-frou. They're gonna protect Zaddy, fellas. It comes with territory, gentlemen. You're not Zaddy. She's gonna protect Zaddy, no matter he's young, old, decrepit, etc. And when the sister protects Zaddy, you know you're fuck. Anyway, let's continue. At the traffic stop, officers pulled Nicholas out of his car as he said, I didn't do anything, as officers shout, get on the ground. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Officers pushed Nicholas to the ground. At around 8:25 p.m., a struggle began between officers and Nicholas. They attempt to pin Nicholas to the ground, threaten and yell explicit language, foul language, and pepper spray the brother and tase him, etc. And pepper spray also hit several of the other officers. Ultimately, Nicholas broke free and ran south on Ross Road, or Ross Road, where he was pursued by at least two officers. Two more police units arrived in the scene of the traffic stop around 8:29 p.m. Footage show that one officer who remained at the area of the traffic stop said, I hope they... The second encounter Nicholas had with police occurred less than half a mile, 800 meters exact, from the traffic stop around 8:33 p.m., where he was beaten by about 3 minutes. Body cameras footage show an officer shouting to Nicholas, I'm going to blah, blah. And footage from the pole-mounted surveillance camera show officers striking Nicholas at least 9 times without visible provocation. According to CNN analysis, an officer used his legs to push Nicholas hard to the ground. The officer pulled Nicholas up by his shoulder and kicked him twice in the... And as you know, they beat him brutally with the batons and stuff. I don't know if I can read more of this. This is very graphic. And the footage show at least five punches to Nicholas' face during the beating. Nicholas repeat call for the mother and did not appear to even strike back, according to the New York Times. Yeah, well, you can't strike back because, one thing I find with a lot of young men, because he was raised by a single mother. And this is the problem with you lot of ladies, that when you don't put and put your boys into institution that will provide some form of, I guess, training, so it exudes some form of masculinity for your sons are going to grow up at an age what Nicholas was, going on 30, where he's going to beg his mother in hopes that these black police officers, including the white one, because the white one was the one that started, so that means he was definitely involved. He was there in the scene of crime. Didn't do nothing, just sit back and watch these men beat the crap out till he is a bloody pulp. That he's hoping that by calling his mother out, that she's gonna come out and say something, so that way they can get so she's able to say something, so these men don't beat the hell out of him. Now, before I continue reading this, as y'all know, only in scenarios like this that you find that only thing like this happened to black people, where they know that they are when they're getting deleted or losing their life through little small minor issues. It amazes me that it happens when they lose their life through non-violent crimes, traffic stops, inspections. All this I find ironic, that these are things that potentially you could lose your life as a black man in America. Ain't that something? But that's what I'm starting to notice. 1 second, guys. 1 second. All right, guys, I'm back. So let's continue. And I'm saying some weird. I am not gonna. All right, where was I? Oh yes, oh yes. Okay. With next minute, let's kick off. So the footage show. The footage show at least 5 punches. Yeah, I read that already. It was calling his mom. And to all young dudes, y'all guys gotta stop. For the sake of conversation, your mom's not gonna help you if you're about to get your butt whooped or something worse. Stand up, either defend yourself or lie down and take it like a little sissy. It's one way there. You need to stop calling your mom. Okay, mom not gonna save you, especially if you're a adult male or whatever. By 8:37 p.m., Nicholas was handcuffed and limped. Officers prop him against the side of the police car. After Nicholas was on the ground, one officer said, "I was hitting him with straight haymakers, dogs," while another said, "I jumped in and start rocking him." Arriving around 8:47 p.m., but he did not begin to assist Nicholas until 16 minutes later. An ambulance arrived at 9:02 p.m. and took Nicholas to St. Francis Hospital at 9:18 p.m. After he complained of shortness of breath, he died on January 10th, and autopsies found excessive bleeding caused by severe beatings. Oh God. Oh damn. Shit. Man. So that means he must have been bleeding internally and even internally in the head, roughly. In the release video from after the beating, 2 officers claim Nicholas reached for their weapon. This claim is not sustainable by the video, with one expert noting that either did any officers seem to indicate they were threatened, or did any of the officers communicate the alleged reaching to follow officers during the stop. Let me say something about this before I continue. When you have 5-on-1, and let's say this was true, it is not in your authority as a person with the badge any justification that you're going to take someone's life, especially when it's not just you alone and other people are there. Give him the work of God, beat him to a pulp. So really, truly, if that was whole claim that he was grabbing a weapon, they would not sustain and say this was justifiable, because obviously when there's more of you and less of him, there's no way he's going to grab a weapon and start. Because if he grabbed your weapon, automatically there's no way in hell he's going to be able to reach it enough to pull it and shoot you. And that's the honest truth. And trust me, if he was able to shoot you, you would know. So really, truly, if they were going to prove that for the justification of beating him 5-on-1, they would have thrown that off, that just that notion. And maybe if you're white, you might have a hard case getting away with it. And they were really investigating this, they would automatically throw this out, because you already got them. That means you were not trained properly to know how to deal with and secure a potential either criminal or potential person that you're going to incarcerate. That is on your half. And trust me, police get thorough training before they're out there on the streets. It's don't put them on the streets without necessarily training. I want people to hear me good, listen well. Police are trained very well on how to deal with certain people. Don't be fooled that when they tell me they're reaching for the gun, they got to do. No, you're trained to know on many occasions what will happen and how your opponent could potentially put harm on you. End the story. That's no excuse. Anyway, let's keep going. Investigations and criminal charges. On January 7th, District Attorney Steve Mallory asked the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation allegations of excessive use of force during the arrest. On January 15th, the Memphis Police Department announced the officers involved will face administrative action. The U.S. Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation also opened an investigation. On January 20th, Memphis police announced that the 5 officers would be fired. Chief Davis said the officers' behavior constitute a failing of basic humanity, that she was confessing by the officers' what they call aggression, and that it was unclear why the officers stopped Nicholas. She said the video footage showed acts that define humanity. Of course, by January 24th, 2 Memphis fire departments, emergency medical technicians who were in the ambulance had been relieved of duty without further explanation. On January 24th, the 5 officers were arrested and charged with second-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, office misconduct, and official oppression. As on January 27th, all 5 men had post bail and been released according to Shelby County jail records. Now, I'm very bothered and disturbed from this, and here's why. The amount of acts of violence from police officers, whether black or non-black, this is the only one I see that they are prosecuting these officers. Last time I checked, they don't prosecute non-white, non-black officers like this. And usually it takes like roughly 2 to 3 months before they decide to really come up with something. And it tells you live in a society, a very racist society that does not see the values of your life, black woman and black man. The only reason why it was more conclusive to put these 5 and it should be 6 officers under the bus, because black people are what is considered not even human. Matter of fact, they're one third or 3/5 still of a human. Those are still in the books in America today. That's not been gone. If y'all not noticed, they have not been gone yet. So, all right, let me scroll through. And like always, when you get back, please like this stream, subscribe to the channel if you can. I think this is something roughly to really have the conversation about. Let me see what's going on. History. I'm just going through some things right now, guys. All right, that's good. Let me go back. All right, let's keep going, guys. And there's a protest, as you can see here, from the public, one in Columbus, Ohio, dealing with the like George Floyd again, all over again. And Joe Biden speak to the family and his directors and all that stuff. Now they're talking about more of, even see the Legal Aid Society of New York City released a statement that includes, "We must continue to question the police role in society, as these incidents frequently recur and many more happen all the time without being captured on body-worn cameras." On January 29th, Senate Judiciary Chair Dick Durbin said, "We need to a national conversation about policing in a responsible, constituted, and humane way. These men and women with badges put them on each day and risk their lives for us. I know that, but we also see from these videos horrible conduct by these same officers is unacceptable unacceptable situations. And social media, obviously, it's campaign, all this GoFundMe, and it should not be the GoFundMe because really, truly, the parents are going to get millions of dollars if they have not got $1 million already. All right. And I think they did get millions of dollars. Now, and let me see what else to look at here. I don't know, man. It doesn't look like there's nothing else on here. Unfortunately. Why did the police pull Tyrese over? And there's videos of this, but like I said, I am not going to cover these videos. And what's this right here? Let me see. This is on the 28th. All right. And CNN released a video of it. And I'm just scrolling through this. And like I said, I'm not going to play this stupid video. I'm definitely not going to. I'm just looking at the images now, which I'm definitely not going to do that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, man, guys. I'm not sure what anything else to really talk about on here. Let me see the timer. I got a few more minutes. In regards to what people should do, especially Black people should do now, one thing is evident that Black law enforcement, as we know it, is going to have a problem now. I think the problem is going to be faced with a lot of people that wants to be in law enforcement as Black. You already got to be walking on eggshells already, but it's worse than that. I think what's going to really happen, is they're going to probably evaluate and really keep an eye out on all law enforcement. And everybody's going to be scrutinized and be watched very closely. Very closely. And unfortunate for those that are Black and they already had an issue with law enforcement, they're going to have much problems now with this. Because this means a lot. Now, this has happened in Memphis. And I think there was another incident that happened in Memphis as well, if I can remember. And it slipped my mind. I don't know. If it comes back to me, I'll tell y'all. But really, that's a very much I can't say baby mama city, but it's a city where a lot of people have children and a lot of children. And predominantly Black country. Black state. All right, let me see my first card. Hey, what's good, Tyrone? Hey, Tyrone, question.
Yeah.
Do you know anything more about Tyron Nicholas? I don't know if I pronounced his name right. I've been saying his name all night on here. If I say his name right, more about this beating by the 5 police officers.
Nah, what you mean anything more?
Well, it comes to find out there was a white officer that initiated that, and he was one that was exempt from the firing or anything of any prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, they have a Black police chief, but she spared this man, which really by law they're not supposed to spare nobody, because if you're involved during an incident, you are put as a witness as well.
Oh. Well, the way I see that, man, is that it was more than that white guy. There was a whole bunch of people there. There was first responders there. There was all kinds of people there that should also be held accountable besides the 5 white cops. So I don't
five black cops. You said
yeah, those 5 black cops. I don't think they held enough people accountable, including that guy that you're talking about. So I mean that's just like that's just like food for the public they went on and got rid of those 5 guys, and everybody else, I don't. They need to be held accountable too, because there was too many people involved. They weren't only 5 black cops.
Well, what is going around? And I remember from another female's podcast said it best that this Caucasian man might be testified as a witness. But I'm thinking you don't want to be put on no testify unless you're going to get some protection, Fifth Amendment, like like that chick that got amendment pleaded fifth from the.
Well, you have to wait. Like, you have to wait to see stuff like that play out. And the reason that I say that is because you don't need him to testify as a witness. And the reason you don't need him to testify as a witness is because you got video and body cam. So you don't need to plead no deal with him for nothing. So I mean, you got the evidence. You don't need that witness for anything. So I would wait for that to play out before.
I mean, I get you. The reason I mention this because, first of all, if it was just these cops alone that did it from the start, I would say okay, but he still was held accountable. But to find out now, new information that this dude started, gets chasing him, get him out, and tasing person, and got him out the car before all these other cops, the 5 cops, were around in the same vicinity. That was with.
Well, the way it was explained by the police chief and the other people is that the people that we've seen on the CCTV, the 5 cops there that was beating him up, that was kicking him, that was holding him down, those were the 5 people that immediately was held accountable. And then now, since then, there's been 2 more people that's been put on suspension. So we got to wait till the investigation plays out to see who else gets held accountable. But my thing is more than just those 7 people need to be held accountable for that boy's death. We don't know if I don't know if that white cop is one of those people that's got suspended recently or not. I hope he is. Shit. Because he deployed his taser for no reason. That was a bogus ass traffic stop.
Yeah. Like I said, we gotta sit back and see. And there might be more, because now if there's more people that they start to slowly unveil, personally, that these cops, they should get full extent of the law, even doing serious time in jail. But the biggest question should be asked, and it's Tyrone, that this is nothing new that's happened to black folks when it comes to police brutality, right? That immediately, this happened 3 weeks ago, that they automatically fire them, and now they say they're gonna charge these men. Now we all know when non-black people do something to black people, it takes roughly 2-3 months, maybe a little longer.
Longer, man. It took George Floyd longer than that.
Yeah.
It took Eric Garner longer than that.
Longer than that.
Tamir Rice's police officer that killed him, he's back on the job.
He back on the job, yeah. And he should be back on the job because he killed the boy.
Right.
So it seemed to me
the reason that they moved so swiftly in this one is because they was black, man. They can say whatever they want to.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Because they know white America wasn't going to lose their mind for locking up black cops. But if you lock up a white cop, then they go fucking crazy.
And this,
Breonna Taylor was murdered in her fucking house.
Yeah.
And they try to protect those guys, man. But look, Gary, I got to get off here, man. Right. I'm about to holler at you.
All right, cool. But like I said, I just want your take on it personally, because I think that I give this a month. They might still talk about this, but it is what it is. We'll talk later. Take care. Thank you, guys. Thank you for calling. Thank you. All right. Who else is on the line? Let's check. And at times I might start put a call online, but not this time, guys, because as you know, this channel doesn't have the strength and leverage yet. But who knows? Get me? Who knows? All right. Let me see if anybody else on the line, and then I'm gonna call. All right, guys. Let me see. I doubt this man might know anything about it. I have to explain it, but you know how it is. Let's see this guy. Hey, what's good? What's good, bro? Hey, I have a question. I know you're not really following social media. You know this thing with Tyree Nicholas and the 5 black cops that took his life? You heard about this?
Yeah, you know what? I saw that. I read that last night. No, this morning.
Oh, you read it this morning? Okay, okay. Did you know there was another officer that was involved that initiated that came out today? A white cop?
Did I see that? I'm not sure.
Well, I got this from another content creator because they did some more digging, and it looks like this white cop is not being charged or losing his job. That was right there in the scene of crime with these other cops. Now he was not on body cam, but he's in the background saying some things and did some things. But they charge and prosecute and fire these 5 cops. Now I'm not saying for those that's listening to playback that these cops should not be doing time in jail or to take the full step of the law. I'm not saying that. The purpose I'm saying is this: they move very quickly and throw these black cops under the bus for good reason when they involved in getting rid of and taking a man's life.
Right.
But other cops that's non-black, it takes months. And to the point, someone will walk away, someone will keep their job, but not these black men. Oh no, they fired them, and now they're gonna say they're gonna be doing serious time in jail. Now they're gonna do years, bro.
What about the white cop?
Well, word on the street, and they might be more involved because remember, the only thing that was put out was the body footage of them doing this to this young brother. That there might be other people that involved that they're gonna slowly bring out. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have audio footage of this, and usually the role of the police officers that's near, but as supposed to really restrain other police officers that's doing some damage. And they're not supposed to sit there and let somebody just go ham, like literally ham.
So the white police officer was present when the black police officer was supposedly beating the brother up?
Yes, and not only present, they said he was the one that used the taser to try to tell him to get out the car. From what I'm hearing. You get me?
So what do you have to say about him just observing and not,
Well, the word on the street is that they might use him as a person to testify. If they're going to go through the court system with these 5 cops. Because remember, these 5 cops were fired like maybe days later. This happened January 7th. And he died January 10th. So I would say these police officers probably got fired a week after that, or days a week after this. Because, they put them suspension leave. And after a while, they decide, to say, all right, you've been released. Because, and here's the funny thing about this, Terrence, or Mr. Miller, or, it's funny that the black woman that's the police chief of Memphis did not even suspend or fire anybody after this body cam was put out for the public. She pulled back and did not really fire this white dude. But sure as hell made quick move to fire these 5 black men. The oldest one is 32 years old. Everybody else is under 30. 230-year-old, and the rest of the 3 are like around their 20s. And on the average range, the roughly average, only 2 had roughly almost 5 years of experience as a police officer in Memphis. Everybody else has not been around for long. Some of them just got hired 2 years ago. Not roughly 3 years ago, because they got hired in August 2020. So it seems to me, this is just me now, that we all know how black women like to protect Zaddy, wherever his age is, because you have all the power. Automatically, you should be making moves. But it's evident that when black people are in certain positions of power, they still have to, bend their will under the more dominant society. You notice that?
Yeah.
So when people talk about self-hatred, and I always say self-hatred leads to self-defeat, that it don't matter what position black people hold in this country, you still gotta, follow the coattails of the people that run the infrastructure. I can't tell one person that I can know off the back of the head, probably you would know because you're older than me, that anybody that was in some position of power that they really were best interest, not only people of the county, but was really dealing with real justice. That's my check. I can't even name any off the back of my head. Can you? That any corruption from either black or non-black, it should be upheld. Doesn't matter. I don't see that in regards to black man, black woman that's in high positions, either in higher office or even in small local, like the mayors, police chief, all that stuff. They still operate under this so-called white paradigm. Unfortunately. So, and it's funny thing, a lot of these dudes say some dumb junk. Thomas said it's because of single motherhood. These boys that are men did this to this brother who was also raised by a single mother that did the violence. And I'm saying, no, you got to hold accountable that these are adult men. No man, even if you're black man, should not be engaged in some behavior that's going to put harm to other black men like that. Why you think when people said that more black people should be in these institutions, should be more of us in there? If it's like this, you got to pick your poison. Either you're going to be there and do the best you can, or you let somebody else that's non-black and they do this to us, and you're very lucky fighting just to get justice, if you can get any justice. Because if the shoes are on the foot and it was non-black officers, we all know that it's going to take months to find them just to charge them, or they come up with something so they can say, we got to slap in the wrist just to make you an example per se, but we're going to let you go easy so you can still operate in society. Not these Negroes. They could easily say, oh, you did it, they said we just fire you and then keep pushing. That tells you there's no real protection for black men and black women in this West Hemisphere. You get me?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that all is lost, but I tell people many times that you always gotta be treading for eggshells. And really, the real harm we do each other is really because our mentality is gone. You get me? When you already have perception that you see yourself as less than, evil than, and all that stuff, you're gonna do a lot more worse shit, either if you have a badge or not. Even the training that they go under, we all know that the training they go under is usually always inclusive to deal with minorities. That's mean black than everybody else. When you train to secure or kill, it's not always you think of say you're looking at every American citizen as a potential threat. You only look at a certain particular person.
Yeah.
That's why they're trained. I remember there was a book by I forgot his name. He's a Seattle police officer, or he's a lieutenant or whatever, that worked for a Seattle law office, like police force, for over 30 years. And he writes about how they're trained to really deal with certain people in regards to targeting and all that stuff. He lays out in detail in his book.
What did he say?
He said that in regards to when they, like how they take a target practice, who they look to neutralize, they have black men with hoodies and stuff as the opponent to neutralize. They don't have like general people. So they create a psychosis, say, if you see a black man of any color hue, right, he's dressed somewhere or not, you always gotta shoot to kill and ask questions later. As a matter of fact, let me find the name of the book. Because as I'm talking to you, let me look, guys. Give me 1 second. You can say something, Miss Mel, as I'm looking for this book. So I could, where is it?
I remember when we were in Chicago on the south side.
Yeah.
We got pulled over, and one of the guys who was with us, he was in school to be a lawyer. So he told the police officer that he was in school to be a lawyer. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get y'all ass in the car.
Yeah, with badge.
You know, just like in that scene in Boys in the Hood,
Mm-hmm.
he told Larry Fishburne's son in the movie that Cuba Gooding,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so glad when I can put one of you niggas in jail for the rest of y'all lives. But
Mm-hmm. I'm looking now. I'm see if I can find it. I gotta go through my history. Let me see how good this is. Because when you look at certain things, it's been a long time. You get me? I don't know if I should still have it here on my history thing. But even with Chicago, like you said before, right? It's a different environment, bro.
in Chicago, something else.
Yeah. But in Memphis, where it happened, a lot of criminality happens in Memphis, bro. For real.
But honestly, the only time I ever had a problem with white police in Chicago was
Mm-hmm.
doing hell watching election when they knew he was gonna win.
Yeah.
They were just fucking with us for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were pissed off that the black man got in office. The white police used to mess with me out there in Forest Park, but I can expect that because that's a predominantly white town. So.
Oh.
And all the police officers was white. So. But one of them used to be a security guy at the high school that I went to, so that was strange.
Okay.
Now, when they did this to this guy, the webcam was on, huh? Did they have any kind of webcam footage?
All of them have footages. All of them. And the funny thing about it, since you mentioned webcam, right? They have been watched, like surveillance-wise, right? Constantly, right? For every action they do, right? And matter of fact, most police officers now, since you mentioned it, they always have their cameras on. They have because they always got report footage of any wrongdoing. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Because it lets know when they report back to what they call internal affairs, because they always do an evaluation every so-called many years, right? Evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
They always got to check if these police are conduct themselves in a more ethical stance. All right, so let me type in books on confessions in the police force in Seattle.
I feel Princella daughter look just like her.
Yeah.
But she said she ain't a woman now, huh?
I don't know. I don't mention her. I don't.
How you just stop liking dick and want pussy all of a sudden?
I don't know. All right, I found some books. Let me see if they'll pull up any books.
Because where I work at Amazon, there's a few of them walking around up in there, masking if they want to be.
Oh wow, didn't know that. Confession is working for the police. All right. Damn, I cannot find a result. This is really. Oh, you know what I should do? Let me go to Google. Shit. I don't know if I'm able to find it personally because it's been a while. I should have saved it somewhere. But at times, I didn't buy the books, so I didn't think I was gonna go back to it. Yeah, I should have did that.
Speaking of books, he said he's still waiting on you to buy his book.
Nah, I ain't buy his book. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find this bad boy. This is This is ridiculous, bro. Anyway, guys, if I do find it, I might post it. But anyway, like I said, that we gotta sit back and see how this is gonna play out. That's pretty much unless you have anything else. But if you didn't know, you probably know now, bro. It's gonna look very interesting. I do expect much out of this case. I don't expect a lot, but only time will tell. You know.
We definitely checking it out.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk later. Thank you for that. Next call. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. I have anything else on here. We're going to have to see what's going to really happen to this. I expect a lot. And I do expect overall that, and let me say this. Everything you see what's happening that's being posted now in front of your eyes, we always got to conclude there is a greater or more extremer distraction on the way. And knowing this, you don't know what's really going to happen down the line. For them to put this out here, that tells me they're doing something more that's not being paid attention. But overall, we got to sit back and see. Anyway, that's it for today's stream. Looking forward to see your comments on this one. Please, when you leave a comment, be sure to be honest in your assessment. If you feel there's a disagreeable or you think there's something else that's not been talked about, leave it in the comment. I'll read it. Also, like this stream. You can share it. And like always, be on the lookout for the next book series coming soon on Zero Ends channel. That's it. Take care, guys.